Good evening, welcome along. It's match day 6 of the Asian Champions League Elite. And in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Ahli welcome the Iranians Esteghlal to King Abdullah Sports City. Ahli are leading the way in the West region with 5 wins from 5. In fact, they've already qualified for the next phase with 3 games still to play. Esteghlal, by contrast, still have plenty of work to do. This was the table after the last round of games have finished. Al Shorter were leading a few moments ago, leading in their game against Persepolis. So they will slip down a place as it stands, Esteghlal, but there's so much still to play for. It's 27 degrees Celsius. Kickoff will be shortly at 7 p.m. Jeddah time. And they know, the Iranian visitors, what a tough game they have in store. In the format, there are 12 games, 12 teams in each of the 2 regions. Each club will play 8 of their opponents, avoiding teams from their own domestic league, which is handy if you're a Saudi team, because, of course, the Saudi teams are proving to be very, very strong. In fact, all unbeaten so far. Now, Ahli have won all of their games. This is their last Champions League match of 2024. The final 2 games of the league phase are in February, and the knockout phase begins almost straight away in March. Well, Ahli are led by Matthias Yaisla, who's a promising German coach. They're 6th in the Saudi Pro League, already 13 points behind the leaders Al Ittihad. So the Asian title looks more realistic, perhaps, than the domestic one. But they have won 5 straight games, both in continental and domestic competition. On Friday, they got a 1-0 win against Al Weda with a goal from Riyad Mahrez. They're the home supporters in the green. Their players will come out in all green very shortly. Esteghlal are the visitors. They're 11th in the Iranian league. An awful start to the season, already cost the job of the previous coach, Javed Nakunam, who was a great Iranian midfield player. They were runners-up last season in the Pro League in Iran to Persepolis. And they finished in the top 3 for the past 9 seasons. That is going to be tough to pull off this time. So for them, again, qualification through to the knockout phase is so important. Champions League football for them. They're outsiders. Just seen an interview with the coach. He admitted as much, because they're up against the likes of Frank Kessié. They're up against some great players. Edouard Mendy, you can see in the background. Some of these guys, Ivan Toney, who is growing in importance to the team. We'll get the full rundown of the team news shortly. But they have spent a lot of money. They didn't get everybody. They were heavily linked with Victor Osimhen right up to the transfer deadline day in the Italy's Serie A. And he ended up going to Galatasaray. Everybody thought that he was on his way to Al Ahli. The visitors are in white. Rafael Silva, you can see the towering Brazilian defender. These sides have met before. It's not many years in real years, but it seems a lifetime ago. It was April 2021 when they last played in their head-to-head. The reason it seems so long ago is played in an empty stadium under COVID restrictions. Esteghlal won 5-2, and then there was a 0-0. That whole group phase was played in Jeddah. They've had their ups and downs, Al Ahli, more ups recently, obviously with a huge amount of investment in the team, but they were in the 2nd division a couple of years ago. And the man who got them out of the 2nd division as the coach was a South African by the name of Pitso Mosimane, who is now the coach of Esteghlal. The guy who took over from Nakunam after that, well, for him, disastrous start to the season. We have a Chinese team of officials led by Ma Ning. And Mendy is an African champion with Senegal, is a European champion with Chelsea. and he would love to be an Asian champion as well. It's a realistic prospect. Obviously, what we don't know at this stage is the relative strength of the East versus the West, because it's regionalised still. It's much later that they come together, and then we find out what we're here for, though, isn't it? Finding out who's good, who's not, who's strong, who's spent their money wisely, and who has made the best of very limited resources. Esteghlal are significant outsiders. They're not a wholly Iranian team. They have the likes of Rafael Silva recruited to their side, but they're not the world stars, genuine world stars, that Ahli have available to them. It's a cavernous stadium. You'll see plenty of empty seats, even though there are also plenty of people here. Ivan Toney looks very relaxed, doesn't he? Leaning up against the wall. There's the referee. Waits to get the nod. As we will start the pre-match ceremony. Ahli in the green, and Esteghlal in the white, who need the points. Started off with a good win. Esteghlal 3-0 win against Al Gharafa. 4 minutes in, and their opponent scored an own goal. That was a good start to the tournament, but then they lost to Al Sadd. They lost narrowly to Al Nassr, goal by Aymeric Laporte. And then against Paktikor of Tashkent, they drew 0-0 in their last game. They had 3 shots on target. Paktikor had no shots on target, hoping for a little bit more attacking football. Champions League anthem plays. Esteghlal were Asian champions in the past, a long time in the past, but a couple of times. Different challenges these days with different levels of resources available to the clubs and their sporting directors that have brought the likes of Riyad Mahrez to the team, and Kessié and Mendy and Ibanez, and a host of wonderful players in green for Ahli. All of that. And they can't get close to the top of the Saudi League at the moment. The bad news is that their Spanish midfielder Gabri Veiga has joined Brazil's Roberto Firmino on the sidelines. Neither makes the matchday squad, but they still have the likes of Edouard Mendy and Riyad Mahrez, who are both UEFA Champions League winners, trying to add the AFC title to their collections. Turkish defender Merih Demiral, Ivorian midfielder Frank Kessié, England forward Ivan Toney, big name players at their peak. And the Brazilian influence, of course, Roger Ibanez and Alexander, 21-year-old midfield player. For the starting lineup are Saudi. We have a Chinese team of officials, everybody except the assistant VAR, who is from Uzbekistan. Matthias Yaisela is just 36 years of age. He also managed in the UEFA Champions League when he was in charge of Salzburg, and they got some good results. Draws against Bayern Munich and Chelsea. Esteghlal make a couple of changes from their last Champions League game. Abul Fazl Jalali and Rouzbek Chesmi come into the side. They've got an Argentine centre-forward in Gustavo Blanco. They've got Didier Ndong, who's their midfield general, the Gabon international. And Jalaluddin Masharipov of Uzbekistan is perhaps their most creative player. And the ubiquitous Brazilians as well. Rafael Silva, very experienced central defender. And there are 7 Iranians in their starting lineup. The Ahli players line up for their own anthem as well, serenaded by the supporters before they get down to business. Nobody has stopped them so far. Nobody has taken a point from them. They've sent out a strong side. Firmino was missing at the last league game on Friday. Gabriel Vega, who has been, I note, linked with moves to Manchester City and Real Madrid, is out of the side. He's a new problem for them. No word. I guess the Isla can say afterwards what the problem was. But he's lost a couple of good players. He's still got lots more. And the referee gets us underway. Esteghlal, the Iranians in white. They need the points. They need a top 8 finish if they want to get through to the knockout phase that will start in March. But Ahli are showing no signs of letting up. All the Saudi teams are through. Demiral and Ibanez. So they haven't just spent their money on forwards. Demiral, ex of Juventus and Atalanta. Ibanez, a Brazilian international, on the ball. Kessia, who's pretty sure he's not going to play as a left back. It's where he is for the time being, as Esteghlal win the ball back again. Jalali, very heavy strapping on his knee. Abou Fazl Jalali is back in the team today. Roosbeck playing himself into a little bit of trouble. We expect a high press, and Tony into the penalty area, and he keeps on going. He managed to get a shot in a goal there, Ivan Tony, putting pressure on Roosbeck. Well, the plan is to play for Esteghlal, no matter what kind of press comes their way. Put his body in the way almost too early there, Roosbeck, and allowed Tony around him. Here's Jalali. It's a back 3 with a couple of wing backs for Esteghlal. See Pizzo Motsimani there in the technical area. Hussein has to go. This time there is no nonsense. He clears his line. They do have a big centre forward in Gustavo Blanco, so the option is there to try and turn your opponents around, but the pace is with Ahli, and the long range shot comes in. The goalkeeper makes a save to deny Samanyan. Very direct when they got the opportunity. This little drop of the shoulder and the attempted goal. The Saudi midfield player. Here's Ndong. He's another ex of the English Premier League, Didier Ndong, a former Sunderland player. And a very bitter exit from England. Geisler was a teammate of Firmino at Hoffenheim. That's how young he is, he's only 36. Mosimani was the coach who got Ahli promoted again to the top division of Saudi football. So he was the immediate predecessor of Yaisla. But Esteghlal have been through a couple since then. Less stability for them. And he was a South African international back in the day, and now a globe-trotting coach. He was very frank in his interview before the game about their prospects. Now it's important to win their other games, which they failed to do last time out. Anything that they get from this game, given the superstars in this Ahli side, would be a bonus. The two central defenders seeing plenty of it. There's not a coordinated high press from Esteghlal. You wouldn't particularly expect, but Rezavan joined in there. Well, that's an excellent bit of skill by Ramin. He's a Romanian international. I think he's playing as a right wing back. We'll figure that out for sure. Scored in the World Cup, Ramin, against Wales. Said's the goalkeeper. Plays through into Rezavan in that deep midfield position, and out it goes to Masharipov. Uzbeki attacking midfielder, schemer, if you like. And the overlap comes from Mazrashi. Came off him, though. Good defending by Masharipov. Here's Mahrez. Demiral. They can't find Mahrez. Mazrashi doing the defending. Saying in no hurry. Interesting technique. I think his feet were still down on the ground, though, even though he was almost at ground level. And Dong to Rafael Silva. And out to Ramin. Islami, the player stopped by Ibanez. Islami coming back and doing some good defensive work as well. Then he slips away from a challenge and he tries just to go past Ibanez with pace. Got some sympathy for Islami as the Brazilian defender almost just fell over in front of him. Tripped himself up. His own foot that caught the back of his calf. Ibanez. Can't get the ball through his country to his countryman Alexander. Now he does, actually, to be fair. And it goes well wide to Saad Balabaid. Esteghlal perfectly happy to see the two centre-backs having all the possession. Kessier back to Demiral. I think Mendy's urging him to turn around and go forward again. Alexander comes deeper to get involved, then he delivers the long ball, and it's long and straight and inaccurate. Underwhelming 8 minutes from Ahli. One mistake that almost allowed them an opportunity. Jalali switches it across to Ramin. One wing back to the other. Rezvand in that defensive midfield zone. And Roosbeck. Rafael Silva. It's clearance, took a deflection. The referee just trying to make clear exactly where he feels it went out of play. And Ramin. And Rafael Silva. Islami. Roosbeck. The outsiders enjoying themselves. Bit of possession now. Sane to Jalali. But it's won back by Kessier. Kessier to Mahrez. Mahrez to Tony. Tony into the penalty area. Roosbeck makes the block. Wasn't the best of crosses from Ivan Tony. And Mahrez, how many times have we seen him do that over the years? Easy to see, hard to stop. If every impression he was about to swing it into the penalty area, then just drifted past Rezvand. So now Ahli get a free kick opportunity. It's Roosbeck here, bellowing. I think he wants the wall, such as it is, in line with their defensive line. Mahrez, cleared by Blanco, the Argentine striker. Mendy comes out. Top quality, world-class goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. Actually won the Champions League against Mahrez. Mahrez was on the other side. Got his medal in the end, though, Mahrez, although he wasn't involved in the final. Is Kessier, ex of Barcelona and Milan. Demirel across to Roger Ibanez, who they got from Roma. Conference League winner in Europe. There's a strong challenge that gets the crowd on side, and Ivan Tony can come forward and find Mahrez. First instinct is to drift outside, inside, and the slip by Ali Mazraoui. Not his finest moment. He's blunt speaking, Pizzo Mosimane. Doesn't pull his punches, as you could see there. And Dong goes wide to Ramin. Blanco does well. He got a foot there in front of the Brazilian. I can try and get in the better of the Brazilian, but he won't be able to outpace Merrick Demirel. Just close down Mendy and test the goalkeeper's decisiveness. Made the right choice in the end. He got it forward to Mahrez, who gets the free kick. Slightly nervy moment, though, for Edouard Mendy. I'm guessing that Geisler says, don't just whack it down the pitch. Alexander through the centre of the midfield, and Sumyan quite sad. But he doesn't get the throw-in that he was hoping for. That's fairly clear, isn't it, from the Chinese referee? Blanco gets a chest to it. And they switch it across to Jalali. So Blanco at the back post. It had to be a very precise ball. It's cleared instead by Demiral. Jalali tries to dink it back to Masharipov. Jalali will keep this ball in play. Ibanez came sliding across. The final call is corner, despite the protestations of Roger Ibanez. This might show us whether it comes back off the attacker, as Ibanez says it did. I still don't entirely know. Referee looked across to his assistant for some help, but he's the wrong side, isn't he? Two big South Americans, the threat. It's whipped into the near post. They got first contact on it, nodded away. It was Roosbeck who got there first, nodded away then by Kessier. The Ivorian midfielder cleared again, and Dong puts it back in. And the free kick will go against Blanco. Referees are likely to give it in favour of the player who's trying to win the header, rather than the guy who's standing his ground and perhaps nudging the out-of-control player. And Ibanez does the same again. Now, I think the referees, difficult to have this conversation, but his point is that Blanco isn't jumping, and he does look, he looks twice and then backs into Ibanez. I think Ibanez was ready for it because he falls fairly safely. And I think he's making the point to Blanco, if you're in a confrontation, jump. Same argument happening on the touchline with Mozimane and the fourth official. There's a case for Blanco's way, though, isn't it? Because his argument is, well, I'm trying to break it down on my chest. I don't particularly want to jump and flick it on. There's no one running behind him. And here's Ibanez, none the worse for wear. Defensive duties by Roosbeck. And there it goes wide to Eslami. Back to Ramin, then Ndong. And Ramin gets it again. Attacking player, the wing back, and he drives on terrifically well. And then he didn't get the shout that the challenge was coming from behind. But he is down, Ramin, after the challenge by Alexander. Clash of boots, but he tries to rub it and carry on. Very much a feature of football since the rule about having to stay off if you have, or having to go off if you have treatment. Pizzo Mozzamani is used to coaching in other countries. In fact, he's coached in Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Egypt. Walking pace for the central defenders. Esteghlal don't mind. I think a point would be very much a positive for them. Here's Blanco. Drives on. Heard the scream from the big Argentine. And then the second sound was Demiral smashing into the effects microphone. It's where all the sounds of the stadium come from, this microphone that Demiral is about to hit. And again, Esteghlal in there, what now gets described as a mid-block. So in other words, they're not hunting to try and win the ball back up the top end of the pitch, but they're not just retreating in a couple of lines to the edge of their own box. They're trying to play when they can, trying to get on the ball. And there's another blood-curdling cry, this time from Abu Fazl Jalali, to the challenge by Mazraoui.
I know you can see. You tell him. You see. I know.
It's a similar foul, isn't it, from the ones that were given against Blanco? Because he looks, sees him, doesn't jump, and the other guy does jump, so it's a foul. Tony closing down, Sayed has to clear. That's a lovely touch to find Masharipov. And Jalali has made a full recovery. And Dong. And it goes the other way this time, Mazraoui and Jalali. Suggest that's too many players around the referee. Don't think they're helping with any translations. Oh, in fact, the VAR, I wonder if the VAR might have a look at that. Because he sticks out a leg, Abu Fazl Jalali. What it definitely is very unwise from Esteghlal's left wing back. Mozzamani always looks concerned, so I don't think we can ascribe that to him knowing or having seen that little jag out with the foot. If you see it as a kick, it's probably a red card. If you just see it as a tiny flick of frustration, then perhaps not. Having quite a debate. So often when you've got VAR in a game, any player who feels he might be able to get his opponent into trouble stays down to stop the play and give the VAR time to go through it. So it's after that, and then he just sticks out a boot. Have a look for the boot after the challenge now. Well, you can hear what they're shouting. You might not be able to do the shouting. It's a red card to the referee. The Ahli players. or coaching staff, somebody. And I think it's just being seen as a slightly petulant trip and not an act of violence. So the original offence, of course, means the free kick is for Esteghlal. The defensive line is very, very high. And the ball out wide to Ramin is there. And he can deliver into the penalty area. And up go the heads, and Blanco will get there. And the whistle went for the challenge in the middle. It was well worked. Given against Hussein. Jumping with Ibanez. Brazilian on the receiving end again. I don't think there's much chance of the whistle blowing at 45, the amount of stoppages that we've had so far. Emerick Demiral. Kessier again drops into the back line. He was closed down though by Masharipov. Now they do find a way through. Farhad really got him involved, one of their attacking midfielders. Not involved now because they've given it away. And Dong gets there, slows it down, goes back to Ramin. Then Eslami operating down that right side. He looks at the referee, gets no joy. And Ivan Toney is off and chasing. Tries to get to the byline. Did he keep that ball in play? He did not. 5 goals so far for Ahli since his move at the very end of August. Muzimani ended up in a dispute with Ahli. It was in very different days. They apparently weren't being paid, the South African and his coaching staff. But he got them up, and then when the new money came in, they wanted a higher profile coach and went for Matthias Eichler. Samyan complaining to the referee about something. The referee is very demonstrative. Eisler described a very active high press. Haven't really had that from Ahli so far. It is warm. They are on the attack now. Rafael Silva goes across, and then he is able to tidy it up effectively, playing the ball against Samyan. The prize a little bit of discomfort. It's interesting, isn't it? Ahli just won above the 50 in terms of possession. And I would imagine the vast majority of that possession is in either the middle or defensive third. Is Kessier. Mazrashi to Demiral and Ibanez. Demiral switches the ball across. Wasn't the best, and it allowed Ramin to come in and steal it. Now Eslami on the attack, and he's got Ramin outside of him, cuts it back to the edge of the penalty area. Masharipov with the shot that's over. It is at least a shot at goal. Don't think we've had one actually on target so far. Just haven't been able to get this ball into attacking areas. I'm going to suggest they're missing the obvious midfield link player, Gabri Veiga. They play it through towards Tony. Again, the ball is wrong though, too straight, too far in front of him. England forward hasn't had much joy. Came on as a sub right at the end of the European Championships final that England lost. Eslami was dispossessed. Interesting, a round of applause for retaining possession rather than driving on. There are supporters elsewhere in the world who wouldn't have enjoyed the patience of the build-up from Ahli. Mahrez has reached double figures for goals for the last 9 seasons. He's on 6 already in this one, so he's not far away from making it a decade. What a decade he's had. Wasn't a superstar as a young man, Riyad Mahrez. And his early days at Leicester City wasn't a big name. And then he inspired as part of an amazing Leicester team that won the English Premier League against all odds, and then moved to Manchester City. It's the Algerian with the free kick. He's looking for Demiral. It was over his head. And the impressive Ramin got there first, knocks it out of play, but it is a throw to Ahli. Roger Ibanez. Who's to Tony, who's come deeper. Doesn't have any more joy though. Alexander to Mahrez, who's come more central. And Sad. That will be a foul. 2 hands on by Fad. Jalali can drive forward. A big crossfield switch ball was on again, but Kessie read it. Barcelona picked up Frank Kessie on a free and then sold him on. Did a decent job for them, but it's Barcelona's situation. If they can get a fee for a player, particularly one who costs nothing, all goes down in the books as pure profit. Here he is again, Frank Kessie, out to Mazraoui. Blanco happy for Ibanez to have it. Not wasting his energy closing down on his own. Broke away from Mahrez. Side clears under pressure. They committed a couple forward there, Esteghlal. Does that leave a gap behind them? Mahrez slips it through. And now, is that a foul? It is. The referee just took a beat to decide and then decided that, indeed, there was a foul by Esteghlal, who's come all the way back, perhaps unwisely, and fouled Fahad. So as the wall builds, the excitement lifts. Both of these players have scored plenty of free kicks in the English Premier League, Mahrez and Tony. And they shove Fahad out of the wall. The referee being very particular. It takes a long time to take a free kick sometimes. So Tony strides back. Or is it to be Mahrez? It's Mahrez, it's into the wall, it comes out to Ivan Tony again, and it's horribly wide. Really wasn't worth the wait. The lack of much to sing about doesn't stop the Ahli supporters. Blanco turns it round the corner, looking for the run of Esteghlal. He loses that though. Saad can come away, ball at feet. Good play by him. Now Fahad turns. But it's just run out to play by Ramin. It's been an admirable, it's been a defensive approach from Esteghlal, but it hasn't been purely passive. Just sitting on the edge of the penalty area, trying to soak it all up. They're trying to go the other way. The entertainment is off the pitch. I think there's a bit of blood here. Blanco caught by the flailing arm of Alexander. Brazilian on the Argentine. He will need a new shirt out of this, Gustavo Blanco. Well, hopefully, that young coach is thinking of ways of making his team a bit more lively as the match goes on. Plenty of the first half left to play. Let's have a look at this flailing arm again that catches the much-travelled Argentine striker. They got him from Eibar, the Spanish second division. Played in Russia, Morocco, Turkey, Ukraine. won titles with Shakhtar Donetsk. And again, the referee is giving out a lecture, using a lot of body language about the height of any arms that flail. Yeah, impressive stuff. Off the pitch, that is. It's been a long journey for Esteghlal. Sure, we haven't seen any of their supporters yet. 2,700 kilometres. They've travelled south and west to Jeddah, somewhere he knows well. The new shirt is ready. The nose is patched up. He's had plenty of these in his long career as a globe-trotting centre forward. And he will have to go off. This is where the rule does seem a bit harsh, because he's obviously not faking that, but on the upside, you see a lot less of players just going down randomly as the match goes on. So there are just 10 for Esteghlal, just for the time being. There's another blow to the head. It was a double assault, wasn't it? The first tiny little push, and then the second player who caught Masharipov on the back of the head. It's a free kick for the Iranians, Esteghlal. And that high line forms again up to whole penalty area. Out again. And they're in behind, and the flag isn't raised, and Rafael Silva scores, and Esteghlal have taken the lead. We'll need a VAR check, of course, but they worked that brilliantly. If they've stayed on side, if they've beaten that high line, then Esteghlal might have just scored a hugely important goal. I think he's confident. So we do have Esteghlal supporters, and they do have a big, experienced, tough as wood Brazilian. Let's have a look. Oh, right. So we're looking at the knee. I think it's offside. Although we'll have to check, wouldn't we? Because it's Hussein. I have to check Hussein's position because he heads it first. So was Hussein offside when it was taken? What a finish, by the way. A volley from a centre-back. Very Brazilian. So Rafael was definitely offside at the first action. That's where my eyes were drawn. I need to know whether Hussein came from an onside position, though. I think he did. And so the Iranians lead because of a Brazilian with a goal on the volley. Rafael Silva. It's very much the fashion now to have a very, very high line instinctively I always don't like it. I'm sure there's a detailed philosophy. I'm sure there are some stats behind it as well. It just seems to give you an awful lot of room in which to put the ball that the goalkeeper can't come and affect. And that's what they did there. A couple of times, in fact, they've caused problems from set pieces. Now, Ahli need to liven up. Defending a 100% record so far. Hasn't quietened the supporters. Here's Kessier now popping up on the right wing. Mezrachi can't find Mahrez. Had no significant impact on the game, Riyad Mahrez. Kessier comes through to Tony. Tony slips it through, and Roosberg goes across to make sure that he got there in time. Ahead of Mezrachi, the fullback puts his cross in, gets a throw in. Mezrachi again. And he committed the foul, dragging Masharipov down. Five minutes are being added on. And Blanco is back. I think he was off the pitch, wasn't he, at the time of the goal. They scored as 10 men. Mezrachi flicks it on. Mahrez is pursued, and he put Demiral under a little bit of pressure. He justifiably this time went back to Mendy. He ignores the short options and smashes it long, and there's a chase on here. And they're not able to win. Fahad come over to the right side. Geisler admitted it was a tough adaptation for a European coach to come and run a team in Saudi Arabia. But he's feeling more confident of making the impact that he wants. Masharipov fouled. Hussein tries to switch it across, but it hasn't got where he wanted it to go, and it's picked up by Sumyat. He goes back to Demiral, wide to Mezrachi. Tried to cross it first time, it ends up in the penalty area. This could be a problem, and then it's smashed off the crossbar by Riyad Mahrez. His first significant involvement. He was a couple of millimetres away from a goal. I wonder whether we'll look back at the challenge on Tony on the edge of the penalty area. Tony comes across here, then he went down, it went on anyway. Mahrez rattled the crossbar. So we play on. Presumably the VAR was content there was no foul on Ivan Toney. Ibanez steps into the midfield. Couldn't take the ball with him. But Mezrachi comes and wins it back in front of Masharipov. could argue that Esteghlal are defending in a 5-4-1. Masharipov there broke ranks to come and do a fairly low-key press. Ibanez. Checked around the corner by Tony. Kessie to Mahrez. They need some Mahrez magic. Doesn't he? Doesn't get a. Well, he does get a free kick. Sorry. Took a moment to think about it. Masharipov doesn't agree with the final decision. I see why it's a foul. My instinct was that it was a free kick. So the defensive line for Esteghlal forms in the more ordinary position at the edge of the penalty area. The ball is then clipped in, and Ibanez couldn't quite get there, and Dong now then penalty. It was a reckless challenge from Didier and Dong. The VAR will check it. The referee might be persuaded to change his mind, but instinctively I'm saying this will end up as a penalty. Just got to be so careful in swinging your boot at a ball in the penalty area. As it bounces down, it's a race to it, and all the attacking player has got to do is shield it. So it's Fahad who got there first, just have to shield it. And then hope that the other guy comes crashing through. So you don't really have to be trying to play the ball yourself. Ivan Toney has a legendary, if not actually impeccable, penalty record. And plenty of players use the technique that he was one of the developed pioneers. So he'll pause, he'll wait, he'll take his time. Well, he gets himself ready. So it's Toney from 12 yards to get Ahli level. Never in doubt. It is all square. A reckless challenge by a former Premier League midfield player leads to a cool-headed penalty by a former Premier League striker. Ivan Toney's 6th goal for Ahli's 3rd in the Champions League. Just didn't need to make the challenge, and Dong. And Toney just waits. Looks at the goalkeeper, not the ball. As soon as the goalkeeper commits himself, it goes the other way. And that was the end of this very elongated first half. So Rafael Silva with a volley following a free kick after Mahrez had hit the bar, and Dong's reckless challenge led to Ivan Toney's penalty. So at half-time at King Abdullah Sports City in Jeddah, It's all square. It's Ahli 1, Esteghlal 1. The whole of the second half will be coming live in around 15 minutes.
النتيجة النهائية الشوط الأول 1 للأهلي 1 للاستغلال. mistaken identity when the referee cautions or sends off the wrong player of the offending team. Stationed in the video operations room, the VAR team will have access to all the camera feeds and will automatically check every match incident. In the event of a clear and obvious error, the VAR communicates with the referee immediately, after which the referee will signal a check by pointing to their ear to indicate that the restart of play is being delayed. The VAR can suggest a review, but only the referee can initiate the review by signaling the outline of a TV screen. The referee always makes the final decision, but can be supported by the VAR in two ways. Using the information received from the VAR for factual decisions, or personally reviewing the incident at the referee review area for decisions that
So welcome back to the King Abdullah Sports City in Jeddah. It's the Champions League Elite Western Division, and Ahli of Saudi Arabia are 1-1 with Esteghlal of Iran as we are about to get the second half underway. It's a very long first half, 53 minutes, with a penalty right at the end. Ivan Toney's equalising goal after Rafael Silva has volleyed the Iranians in front. Sharipov is finally ready. Luckily, have been out a while. Esteghlal join us now, and it's Ahli who get us underway in the second half. They are in all green and Esteghlal in all white. It's pretty low key 40 minutes in truth, and then it really did liven up. Goal from a set piece, well worked, exploiting a insanely high line for Ahli. And the first stoppage of the second half has occurred already. Samyan. They came around, got a touch on it, and then it's the trailing leg, isn't it? That is going to hurt. Ramin catching him on his way down. Doesn't get much sympathy, except from Ivan Toney. Matthias Eisler is the very young German coach of Ahli, who's a title winner in Austria when he was in charge of Salzburg. He was a coach in the UEFA Champions League with the Austrians. And he was the man who replaced Pizzo Mosimane, who's now in the other dugouts for Esteghlal. Esteghlal have sacked a coach already this season. They've had an interim in the meanwhile, and then moved on to Mosimane because they've had a dreadful start to the season. Domestically, they're 11th. And this is the team that's finished in the top 3 for the last 9 seasons. So Ahli have won all of their games so far, if you have just joined us. So they're already qualified, but they still put out a strong team. And Esteghlal are the ones who really need the points. It's a real old battle down the bottom end. Looking like it won't be resolved till the final day. Here's the ball for Blanco to chase, and he is going to be in behind Ibanez. He chops it back, has to wait for support. He's not blessed with pace, the big centre forward, and Dong joins in. He owes his side one. And they do work it on. They've been keen to attack when they got the opportunity. But Sharipov goes down, appeals to the referee and the VAR to have a look. Stopped for the offside. See Blanco's nose, a temporary fix. That's Pizzo Mosimane, 60-year-old South African. He's appointed on the 18th of October. Lost 3 out of their last 4 domestically. Finally got a win in the last game. It was Mozimane's first win. Quite a lot of new players were signed in the summer. Nice body's work by Alexander. Looks a good player, doesn't he? The number 11, the Brazilian, 21-year-old Brazilian for Ahli in the green. Banez and Demiral. I haven't checked. I imagine those two have had more touches than anybody. The 2 centre-backs for Ahli. Here's Mahrez, who isn't sticking to the right side at all. And then Alexander drives it towards the goal, and it brings a decent save out of Syed. Mahrez goes scampering forward. The flick on goes to the back post. And Sumyan couldn't make anything of it, but he twists and turns and crosses into the penalty area again. And it was Fahad who got there. Did he use his hand? I wonder if that's why the whistle's gone. Obviously, there's 0 tolerance on any goal scored if it touches the hand. Yeah. I think that's enough for a free kick, even if it doesn't go in, isn't it? He flaps his hand towards it. That was that good long-range effort by Alexander. Hasn't scored so far, going from Fluminense. Oh, it's terrific pace by Islami, and he goes all the way through. And then it's the outstretched boot of Edouard Mendy that stopped him in the end. Terrific burst of pace here, his second favourite. And he goes the long way round. It really wasn't the best of defending from Saad. We'll never know whether it was creeping in without the intervention from Mendy. Esteghlal with a cross into the penalty area, away by Kessie. And then the volley. Oh, what a goal! Esteghlal from outside of the penalty area. A volley with precision, with power. Amazing strike. And Esteghlal lead again. Well, it's very nearly silenced the stadium. What a strike it was. Well, it's his burst a few minutes ago that created this attacking situation. The header away by Kessie, and he meets it on the volley, way outside of the penalty area. Could Mendy have done better? He's diving behind bodies. And frankly, he's not expecting the quality of the strike. The coach is impressed. We're all impressed. What a goal. Mohamed Hussein Islami. I think we'll put that on the list for potential goals of the tournament. I know there are a lot of football matches to be played in this format. There won't be many better. Rafael Silvas is pretty good. The volley in the first half, but that volley surpasses it. Side that's only got 1 win. Their 5 previous fixtures in this league phase. Islami gets it back to Ramin, who delivers it early. Just the big Blanco in there. Interesting, Masharipov didn't take on the early volley. Now Jalali puts it in. Islami comes around the back post. It comes out to Ramin, who gets decent shape on that one, and it bounces down. Banez with the initial clearance. No foul, and Islami tries to play it in again. There's a wrestling match between the Brazilian and the Argentine in the middle. The Senegalese Mendy claims to claim it, and now Mahrez gets Ahli up the pitch again. Well, they didn't lead for long the first time around. Esteghlal. Ivan Toney. Will he fancy a long-range effort from here? He should have. Masharipov goes back to Jalali. Blanco comes to show for it. Would have been offside had it got through to Masharipov. Gets here. Mahrez from wide this time. He's been drifting right across that attacking three-quarter line. And Dong. Man down for Esteghlal on the far side, but the game doesn't stop. Now it will. Rafael Silva goes bowling into the challenge on Semyan. Love how players always point to the ball, run into your opponent, push him over, and say, yeah, the ball was roughly there. No Gabriel Vega, no Roberto Firmino for Ahli. Neither in the matchday squad. Won 5 straight games in domestic and continental football. Mahrez floats that one into the penalty area. Banya's got something on it, but presumably it was the Brazilian who was offside. Eagle-eyed assistant referee, good call. Touched on by Ramin and then offside against Eslami. Alexander to Sad. Alexander turns it around the corner. Toney has it, stopped by the sliding challenge. Now Esteghlal look to break, which they've done whenever they've got the chance. Eslami. What's a square ball on? The limitation of Blanco as the centre forward is that he's not fast. Toney over the top. Flag down for now. He finds Riyad Mahrez. The defenders are concerned. He changes direction and he forces the save out of Syed. You know that he's going to change direction. I mean, Riyad Mahrez, stopping him is so hard. Two defenders going the wrong way. Rusbe didn't move, but Syed very much did. This will be a mighty result for Esteghlal if they can hold on in the context of the league phase, just trying to get through. They don't see themselves as realistic winners of the overall tournament against the might of the Saudi clubs, and then we'll find out what later in the year, not later in the season, we'll find out the relative east-west strength. Mahrez close to the goalkeeper, gets a good punch on it. The goalkeeper comes again. Rafa Silva took the responsibility away from him. Blanco helps it on. Alexander and goes back. And again you see Esteghlal, they don't sit it. Going to that mid-block, so it's not energetic. It's just making sure that there isn't any easy build-up to be had. And generally, Ahli have struggled. Jose Mane would love this if he gets one over on his old club. Got them promoted. They basically didn't want him when they got rich. Wanted the highly rated young German who'd managed in the UEFA Champions League. Jose Mane had managed in the African Champions League. He is coming out on top at the moment. There's a long time to go. Islami tries to switch it across. It was a good ball, actually, wasn't it, to Abu Fazl Jalali? Now Ramin's on the charge. I wonder if he's looking for the 1-2 with Blanco. He decided to hold his position instead, and Dong's gone forward, delivered into the penalty area. Banez with a measured header away to his fellow Brazilian Alexander. It's worked out down to that right side for Ahli. Sumyan to Mahrez. Left-footed player who you never see playing down the left. Saad's cross popped up into the air and it was away by Rafael Silva. Islami just happy to clear his lines. They're approaching the hour mark. And the underdogs are leading. Kessié floats it out towards Mazraoui. Shows too much of it to Islami, who's now switched over to that side. Kessié, skillfully done. Now what can he do from here? Into the feet of a teammate who turns and shoots. It's Fahad. It's inventive enough. It was ambitious in the end to try and really curl his left boot around this and get it coming back enough. Not short of power. Ramin is struggling. The referee called for the stretcher. There's a bit of cold spray as well, so it seems to be a blow here to a player who's had a terrific game. Zebo is one replacement. Our man is there as well. He's a big centre back. Always worth another look at this. Absolutely brilliant goal. Half a smile on the opposition coach's face. A 23-year-old winger who they signed in the summer. Missing players. But Firmino in the middle. He's missed the last couple. The Brazilian. Game goes on without any substitutions. So again, Esteghlal are down to 10 temporarily. Kessie doesn't get there, does get a free kick. The yellow card comes out for the first time, actually, for Rezavan. Been a couple that have been close, I must say. Bit of the ball, didn't he? I think that's probably his point, but referees will say now you can't use the ball as a distraction for the foul. You can't use the fact that, well, I was going for the ball, I got the ball, and also clatter into your opponent, which used to be very much the case. Alexander, the least heralded of all the foreign players in this Ahli side. Decent ball into the middle again for Sumya. And another good save by Syed. Just disputing whether the ball is in the corner quadrant properly or not. Rafael Silva, touch tight with Ivan Toney. And it goes, and it was Blanco away. Kessie acts as the screen to give it back again to Sumyan. And Kessie crosses, it's a decent looking ball in. And it was quite a leap by Merrick Demiral. So much to do with the header, though, even for a player of his quality. That was the chance that led to the corner. Good jump by the little man. Here's Blanco, and then an offside flag is raised. Now, are we getting these substitutions? We're not yet anyway. Banez, they work it nicely to Saad, the left back. He chops inside into the penalty area, and it's almost sat there to be struck by Alexander. He struck it wide in the end. So, who's going first? It's Ferraz. He's ready. Who's a centre forward, been the regular centre forward with Ivan Toney, not necessarily always available. I've seen Al Zubaydi also coming on. Sumyan is off. So a double change and a triple change. Zakipor is the other one that we hadn't seen. Got some sympathy, well, a lot of sympathy for Gustavo Blanco. He's put in a shift and had a serious whack to the face as well. And Jalali, who also returned to the team, is off. And Rezavan, who got the yellow card. So Ramin is fine. Zakipor will come on in the midfield, straight replacement for Rezavan. The rest of it might just need a little bit of tweaking. There's Kessié into the midfield, and Mahrez. Now Ferraz. See how he links with Tony. Two number 9s on the pitch. A 99 and a 9. Literally with their shirts. Kessié through to Tony. Shoulder to shoulder now. I was giving it against Ivan Tony. Grabbing the ball certainly forced the referee to make a decision one way or the other. Per se. Self-refereeing the game. So we're midway through the second half. And he's staring at Champions League defeat for the first time. Man, it's the centre forward, isn't it? The big man. Reigning international. 8 goals in 77 games, so like Blanco, not prolific. And Ibanez is down, not for the first time, and the yellow card is out for Zaki Paul. Given that he was a like-for-like replacement for Reservand, I'd say it was a good job he came on. Reservand was the other player booked. Ibanez bravely going for it with his head. There's more blood. Had the look of a horror movie at times. So now it's Ahli who will temporarily play with 10. Alexander. Rafael Silva away. No pressure on Demiral from Ahmad. Ivan Tony coming back, playing deep, and good for the forward run of Ferraz. He comes to Mahrez, didn't shoot first time. Here's Tony arriving now. And he went for it from a long way out. The goal scorer for Ahli. That was from precisely 12 yards. In precisely 11 metres. Ibanez wants to get himself back out there, but first of all, he's going to be patched up. Here's Mazraoui to Riyad Mahrez. And Alexander can drive forward again, the young Brazilian. Zubaidi with a twist and a turn, and it bounces in the penalty area. Alexander tries to tee it up for Tony. The yellow card is out again. Yellow card for Saad. Rolls in behind Ahmad. Demiral sweeps up. Time's running away from Ahli. Mazrashi. Alexander. Kessia. Esteghlal was talking about the need to bring young players through for Ahli. It can't all just be big-name superstars signed. Alexander's been really impressive in terms of a sensible signing. But not a lot of money. Here's Ivan Toney. Came directly from Premier League Brentford for big money. Mazrashi is stopped by the challenge of Zakipor. I think that's 16,000 that they said. The stadium holds over 60. The huge bowl. It's actually filled out quite significantly as the game has gone on. Ibanez clips it forward, looking for the run of Ferraz. Thumbs up from the centre forward. Would seem that it's Toney who's moved. Mazrashi in, it was a flick on by the defender, Roosberg. Still, I'm going to say a lack of urgency from Ahli. Perhaps you could argue they're playing like a side that knows they are through to the next stage, regardless of what happens in their last 3 matches. Esteghlal won't be happy with it, though. Here's Toney. Mazrashi skillfully done and into the penalty area. Now can he pick up the pass or go for goal himself? Comes back his way after the save by the keeper and is smuggled behind in the end by Hussein. Wonderful play from the right back. Obviously wasn't happy with the options when he got into that decisive position. Don't really blame him for going for goal himself. Here's the corner. Curled into the near post, goalkeeper got a fingertip to it. Toney retrieves and is allowed to cross that in just over the head of Ibanez. Away it goes. Mahrez into the penalty area, plenty there at the back post. Demiral gets his head to it, and then everybody pulls out sensibly in terms of the defender. And then Saad tries to swing it. Good defending by Esteghlal. Temporary respite. Now Saad again. Also skillfully done. Tries to play a 1-2 with Demiral, and stayed forward. Here's Kessier. And Saad to Frank Kessier again. Deliver a good cross for a central midfielder. Frank Kessier to corner. They wanted to roll it, take it very quickly. The referee has got other business to attend to, though, first. The patched up Ibanez is there. Again, the referee's not happy. Oh, we're checking for an incident, possible red card, that is why. Well, I'll confess I didn't see what happened in the middle. And he's going over. Well, this could be trouble for somebody. So the eagle-eyed VAR have seen something here. Oh, it's Islami's challenges it. He goes in, and it's that boot that goes down in the previous challenge on Saad. Well, Islami could have an interesting day, couldn't he? He scored an absolute world-class goal, and his day could be cut short here. 10 minutes from the end of the 90. It's not a nasty tackle. He's going for the ball. His opponent is sliding. It's definitely studs on shin. Final call is this man's. He draws the screen, which means the red card will inevitably follow. It's on the run first. And out comes the red, and Islami is off. That goes down well in the stadium. Well, what a second half that young man has had. Scored an absolutely stupendous volley. Now has been sent off for his challenge on Saad. Saad just got the ball away, and Islami was committed. Certainly didn't do it on purpose, but it's definitely painful, definitely caught him. Right, and we get underway again. Mahrez floats it in. The goalkeeper is decisive. Demiral got there. Tony down in the middle now. And is it a penalty here? Well, it's another huge call. There's a yellow card as well for the... It could be, but he can't grab the referee's hand. He can't grab the referee's hand, Roosbeck. The yellow card. One for the goalkeeper. It's going to take a little bit of unpicking here. One for the goalkeeper. And there was one for Zebo. And it's just a yellow. But I think Roosbeck is lucky. So Ivan Toney we're looking at here as they jump. So the VAR can have a look at this. Is it the goalkeeper on Toney? Because judged to have missed the ball and caught the player. Or is it Zebo coming from behind? Zimane he thinks the goalkeeper has been harshly dealt with. Tony went down. We'll see if the VAR suggests a review. Whatever the rights or wrongs of the decision, the dissent is unacceptable. I would say that Roosberg is unlucky. He was very lucky to have actually grabbed the referee's hand to stop him pulling a card out. Decision penalty, it stands. And Tony can have another go from the spot. Well, we've had almost no play in about 5 minutes, I'm going to say. We've had a few seconds of play, in which time there's been a red card and now a penalty in separate incidents. And Ivan Toney, having scored one penalty, getting another opportunity here. Zebo giving some words of advice to Said. Maybe watched a lot of Brentford over the years, Zebo. Ivan Toney has successfully scored 31 senior penalties. He's missed 2. That had already been shown, the yellow card to the goalkeeper. So Tony from the spot for the second time. Will he change the technique? He does sometimes. Still we wait for the referee to give the go-ahead. Tension is building. It won't affect Ivan Toney though, will it, this tension? It's Toney from the spot, and into the back of the net it goes again. There's almost nobody you'd rather have in that position than the English centre forward. So calm, so collected, and so deadly. So whether it's the... still don't know if it's the goalkeeper or whether it's Zebo coming from behind. What I do know is that Toney is as good as you get from the penalty spot. Esteghlal twice taken the lead through brilliant volleys. And luckily have twice level from the spot. And Shadipov hasn't really had his best game. There's plenty of time left for a winning goal for either side. Alexander. Haven't really produced any moments of magic. Ahli, leaders in the competition. 5 wins from 5 coming into this game. Here's Frank Kessié. And Mazraoui behind and into the arms of the goalkeeper, who, apart from being beaten twice from the spot and potentially giving that penalty away, has had a really good game. Mazraoui leaves it to Riyad Mahrez. Alexander always wants the ball. Kessié. to Mahrez. Mahrez dangerously into the middle, and it's off the post. And still there, and now behind. And they want a third penalty. The coach doesn't know, does he? But Ferraz thinks he does. So Mahrez puts it in. Ferraz was the one who went for it. Where was the handball? Was it the original challenge by Rafael Silva? What are they asking for here? As he goes diving in here, does he use his hand there? Let's see what the VAR will see. He decides it's a handball once he sees his players appealing. Meanwhile, another substitution. Tony's got the ball in his hands again. Ziad is on. And we go on. There is no third penalty. Not yet, anyway. We're in the 90th minute. It's floated to the edge of the penalty area. Ziad, who's just come on, has the shot. Demiral was onside. Kessié goes through, and the goalkeeper denies him. And it's still there, and it's smashed into the back of the net by Ferraz. And in the 90th minute, Ahli have taken the lead for the first time. Well, your heart might go out to Esteghlal for all of their play and all of their dogged defending to be undone so deep into the game. Well, the VAR will take a check, of course. It comes out to Ziad, who's just come on. Demiral did brilliantly. He moved it on. Kessié went through. The goalkeeper again made another save. And Ferraz, the number 9, off the bench. And in the goals. Now let's have a look for the offside against Demiral. Oh, I think it might have been. Obviously, we're going to have to stop that and have a look. So Ferraz got 2 goals already in this competition. I think that's his 3rd. The referee hasn't moved back yet. I think he's been told they're still checking the offside. I have a feeling, just without seeing a freeze, that Demiral was offside. The inquest goes on. I hope they're not catching a scheduled flight back to Tehran. We're going late. And it's offside. No goal. Take it all back. Ferraz. His celebrations were for nothing. A thumping finish for nothing. Eric Demiral was offside. Demiral is in the blue boots. He's the centre forward. Not now. It's when Kessié shoots. Oh, it was, yes. It was then. Before Kessié shoots, Demiral was coming from the offside position. We're into the 3rd minute of added time. As I say, essentially in about, I'm going to say about 7 or 8 minutes of action, we've had a couple of corners. It's been dramatic enough. 8 minutes of being added on. Tekchi between Ndong and Tony. They're still at it, Tony and Ndong. Well, what a battle it has been. Rafael Silva goes down. He wants a decision. He doesn't get it. No, Sad. Very talented attacking left back. Tony deep in midfield. Demiral thought he'd got a crucial part in the winning goal. It goes to Riyad Mahrez. They still go again. And it's a lovely bit of wing play. Was it in play, out to play? There's no flag from the assistant referee. Obviously there was some kind of communication against Mazraoui. We can't waste time. The goalkeeper who was booked in the second penalty incident. And they've only got 10 out there at the moment, Esteghlal. They had 10 when they scored the first goal. That was temporary. Kessié. Ahli's 100% record is on the line. Frank Kessié, the captain, driving them forward. Ziad Al-Jahani, the latest sub. Now, Al-Zubaydi. And the free kick is given. Isla doesn't like it, but he's not the referee, and it was a foul. Delayed reaction, I think, is probably the point made by the German coach. The emotions of being a football manager. This game alone, up and down. Especially in the VAR era. The celebrations, the stadium goes crazy, the players celebrate wildly, and then it's all taken away. Into the penalty area it goes again. Al-Zubaydi is there. Back to Saad. Jahani to Al-Zubaydi. Too much on that. And Ferras goes acting as a ball boy. Well, he hasn't looked at any stage like he's happy for his players to drift to a draw. Salimi is coming on for Ramin. He's had a really good game. Salimi just there to see the game out. The man tries to get something on it, but it just comes through, and they can build again. Ahli, we should be in the last minute of the 8th. Not promising. Demiral. And they work a good position again, and it's delivered into the penalty area. And the excellent Said comes and claims it as an afterthought. He goes down. World Cup goalkeeper. First ever concussion sub at a World Cup. He's had a really good game. Our man gets on the end of it. Is there another twist with another Esteghlal goal? It's Ndong who gave away the first penalty. Zamani goes for the corner. Wins the throw. We'll take their time. We're in added time at the end of the added time. Mosimane acting as the calm head on the bench. It's another slightly odd throw. And Dong tries to squeeze his cross in. Ibanez hacks it away. Samani got something on it, but there is a break potential here. Time for one more attack. Kessié to Demiral. And Ibanez. It's got to go forward. It's got to go forward in decent order. Ibanez goes wide to Sad. Now Esteghlal are just massing their defence, understandably, with 99 played. Riyad Mahrez. It's one back. Lines are cleared. And the referee is the centre of attention. We are in the 100th minute of the game. Ahli trying to keep their 100% record alive. Ivan Toney in the left wing position. Roger Ibanez from long range. He gives it away to his fellow Brazilian centre-back. And he does not fancy a run forward here. Rafael Silva, he did brilliantly. He paused, he drew the foul. Naive play by the opponent. Sad, tired play. Brilliantly done by Rafael Silva. Remember, the clock restarts, so I think we had 8 or 9 minutes at the end of the first half. And Rafael Silva takes the free kick. And still we play. Our man was the target. Ibanez was there first. Kessié sets up the Brazilian again. Ziad Al-Jahari, overhit, safely handled by Said. And now it's all over, and Esteghlal get their point. They had to work hard for it. They scored 2 superb goals, the second of which a genuine contenders to be the best you'll see in the Champions League this season. 2 penalties converted by Ivan Toney. But Ahli level twice. Esteghlal finished with 10 on the pitch after Eslami was sent off. They thought they'd got a winner, but the VAR intervened, and Ahli's 100% record comes to an end after Ferras had his goal chalked off for the offside by Demiral. The point is useful for Esteghlal. There's still plenty of football to be played in this Champions League. What a game we had here. It's gone long, it got dramatic. Ahli have been held for the first time. Esteghlal have got a point. Pizzo Mosimane has gone to his old stomping ground and come away with a draw. High drama at the King Abdullah Sports City in Jeddah. Full-time score, Ahli 2, Esteghlal 2.